Hey everyone, this is Stefan from Bytes. In this video I'm going to show you how to sculpt in World Creator using a sculpt layer. The sculpt layer is part of the shape layer tools here. To add a sculpt layer, go to the shape layers, click the plus icon and select the sculpt layer. Now go to edit and the tools here, the sculpting tools, open on the left side. Actually, in World Creator you have two ways of sculpting. You have the brush-based sculpting and you have the grid-based sculpting. So we are stepping first through the brush tools, the brush sculpting tools. Okay, so first you have that raise here. You can anytime paint on a terrain by simply using that brush, clicking here and drawing directly things on your terrain. You can also lower them by either selecting the lower tool or by holding the left shift key. That way you can go down and sculpt things into the terrain. Then you have something like a smooth tool, so you can smooth out things. Then you have a flatten tool, which always goes to the flatten height you select here. So here's like 76 meters. We are here at 5 meters. You can see that beside the mouse cursor. So if I paint that one here, I'm going to flatten everything to a given height, which is adjusted here at 76 meters. So if we go here, you can see that it's 76 meter. The next one is we can also rotate things. To rotate things, I would like to show you something, but let's first initially flatten it. Let's raise something like this here. And now let's select the rotate tool. What we need to do is to adjust the brush exactly to match that part here. So when we click it and hold the left mouse button, we can use the mouse and rotate that area that we have selected with that brush. This enables you to rotate any sort of things on the terrain and adapt it. The same works for scaling, so you can scale up things or scale them down. There's also a tilt function here, so you can click left mouse button, use your mouse to tilt the terrain along the angle that you're describing with your mouse cursor. Another thing is push and pull. If you select this, you can simply just, without raising things, you can just click at any location here and raise things up or push them down. That would also work, which actually is the same functionality than raise and lower, just it takes always just the part that you select here. Then you have align. It would align the terrain depending on the surrounding, make it a little bit more, align it along specific heights. You always have these further tools like radius for the brush, smooth, strength, and rotation. Also something like a random rotation, which I come to when I'm selecting the brushes here. Okay, now before we continue, I'd like to show you exactly these things here. So we're going to flatten this terrain again. We're going to select raise. And now let's see what these things are doing here. So if let's take that one here, for example. Let's make it a bit larger so we can either smooth it out a little bit more. You can see that here. So we're applying that. It's very smoothy. We can always go back with sculpting by left control and Z. So we can undo sculpt operations anytime. You can also just move out smoothing. Then things will apply very immediately. In this case, because the advanced erosion is directly affecting it, you get different results, of course, because it's eroding while I'm painting here. Let's take another one regarding the random things here. So we can, for example, apply a random rotation. So each time I'm going to draw now, the brush is rotating. This is good to give additional noise, additional, things that are not really uniform, specifically not because painting on this would happen like this, and using a different brush with random rotations would also be giving nice features to smooth out things and giving surroundings to a flat terrain. Okay, now let's see how the grid tools are working. So again, I'm going to flatten my terrain and select now the add tool here. Brush sizes can be also adjusted here by holding the left control key, just hold it down and then use the mouse wheel to adapt the brush. This also works, of course, exactly the same way than the brush tools for the typical brush-based sculpting. Okay, so how does this actually work? So in this case, we're selecting grid cells here before we do anything. So once selected, we can choose any operation here. Important is you have to hold the left shift key, hold it, and then depending on the operation, you will have a different behavior. So we can move things up to a specific elevation value, or moving them down. We can also duplicate. Duplication would work like this. So I'm selecting this part here, holding the left shift key, and then move it out. As you can see, duplicates exactly that part, moves out, and we can continue our sculpting things. Rotating works exactly the same. So I'm selecting the area that I want to rotate, select rotate, and then I start to rotate it. Scaling, exactly the same for scaling. We can also tilt things. We rotate, selecting these parts here, selecting tilt, and then we can start tilting it. Pushing is also interesting because you just select the part, and while you're clicking here, you can select this, and when you click, you can push things in. Pulling is exactly the same here. Yeah, and alignment is always like if you're selecting an area like this, your mouse cursor, the alignment depends on the location of the cursor you are. So if you want to align things according to this height, you're clicking the left shift key, holding it, and move your mouse. If you want to align things to the lower parts, select the lower part here and align it along that. You also can take any alignment. I mean, you don't have to be inside that grid. You can also select whatever elevation on the tray. You may also select this part here and align things according to that elevation value. Now, for the grid-based sculpting, which is also important to notice, is that you have that grid here, and that grid is available in different resolutions. You can adjust the resolution here. Currently, it's just 32 by 32 grid. So the higher you go, of course, the more cells you have, the more accurate things are going to be. Okay, and of course, then if you stop editing, you have that area, you sculpted it, so you can move that sculpt area, you can rotate it, you can scale it even up and whatever, and use them just like 2D stamps, to create the terrain of your choice. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. We're going to do a sample video specifically on sculpting, where I'm going to do a really nice terrain. Then I will step also through things like operation override, through the interpolation modes and the level step system here. Until then, feel free to try them out too. It's pretty easy to understand. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Stay safe. Bye-bye.